here? Yes, yes. So these random shapes, this dot, this circle, this straight line, straight line, straight line, and straight line have actually come together to form a bird. Let's finish it really quick. There's a curved line here. This is not a realistic looking bird. I'm going to warn you right now, it's kind of a fun kitty bird. Hi, Mo. Mo can do this lesson too if she wants to. And then you're going to draw a straight line back like that. And then a curved line coming back and connecting with that straight line. You guys can do this along with me, because I'm going to ask you to do something else after that. And then let's do the wings. So we're going to do a curved line kind of on the middle of that straight line. It comes back here and comes in here. Another curved line, another curved line, another curved line. And then let's do the tail. You can do the feet are like 2 straight lines for each leg and 3 curved lines for the toes, for the claws. And you can do anything you want with the tail. You can kind of do big circles like that. You can do a big plume like that of straight lines connected. So spend a minute just finishing your bird. And then we're going to talk about the intellectual difference between left and right brain. So for those of you who took the class yesterday, Dee Dee, I think you were there, we're going to review the same concepts, but using a different example, because I don't want to get boring. It's kind of fun. So Mo, if you want to color that in while your mom's listening, you totally can. I love this lesson and what we're going to do next. All right, so what did we just do there? How hard was that drawing? How difficult on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being easy, 10 being hard? Was that a hard thing to do? No, somebody? That was not a hard drawing, right? That wasn't hard. And here's, but if I had come in and said to you, I want you to draw me a bird, is that a hard assignment? Is it harder?
Yes, definitely.
It's definitely harder,
Yes.
right? So when you're intellectually, so why is it that it's not hard to actually draw what we see, but it's hard to draw what we imagine? The first thing I want you to know is that drawing comes in 5, that everything we draw has, I'm trying to decide if I want to do right or left brain. Yeah, let's start with the shapes. Everything we have, we can break into shapes. So what is that? What is this?
Circle.
Yeah,
Circle.
right. And then what is this?
I know, I can't say because I know.
You can't say because you know the answer to this question. Yeah. As somebody who doesn't know the answer to this question, what is that? What is this? Yeah, you don't know, right? Some people say kidney bean, some people say jelly bean, some people say amoeba. I've heard all kinds of things. Here's the thing. In our understanding, our what we would call our left brain or our verbal conceptual understanding of circle, we only have one image in our mind. It's this perfectly round circle. But when you're drawing, it's better to think of the circle as a family. So a group of shapes that are all circle-like. So this is the circle family. And anything that is roundish with no sharp edges is a circle. So this is a circle, this is a circle, this is a circle, this is a circle, this is a circle. Anything with roundish. Let's write that down. Anything roundish with no sharp edges. All right, so this is the circle family. There are 5 families of shape upon which we draw everything. That's one family, the circle family. There's another family called the dot family. And the dot family is just like the circle family, except that the dots are colored in. So the dot is any roundish object with no sharp edges that's colored in. We have the dot family. Now, somebody who has not taken any beginning drawing before, tell me, what is the shape of your door? So Sherry or Mo, I'm waiting to hear from you. Turn your mute off. I'm actually wanting participation here. What's the shape of your doorway? Hello?
Rectangle.
Right, but there is no rectangle family of shape, right? We've got three other families. We've got straight lines. We have angle lines. And we have curved lines. So straight lines can be thick. They can be thin, they can be little, they can be big. Angle lines are just two lines that come together. They can be wide, they can be narrow. And curved lines are literally just curved lines. It can be a small curve like this, a bigger curve like this, or even like curly like a snail shell. So based on these 5 families of shape, what is the shape of your doorway?
I would think it's angle lines
Yeah, could be 2 angle lines put together, exactly, or
straight lines.
or 4 straight lines, or if it's a dark door that leads to a dark hallway, it could be a dark, thick line, right? Yes, absolutely. So when we're constructing anything and drawing, we're really not thinking about what the thing is. We're thinking more about what are the shapes. So you just built a bird out of shapes. So why is it easier to build a bird out of shapes than to build a bird out of your imagination? Why is it easier for me to follow you along? Any idea? That has to do with what we call left versus right brain. Has anybody heard ideas or concepts around the concept of right or left brain? Any ideas? What is your, I mean, have you heard anything, this idea of right brain and left brain? Anybody can jump in on this. Natalia, you could too. I know you've seen this, but what was your understanding of right and left brain?
The one is the more logical, rational, and
Right.
the other more, how to say it?
Creative.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Imagine, I was speaking imagination, but yeah.
Yeah, imagination, intuitive, creative, right?
Mhm.
So this is a completely, and Natalia knows this, and this is a completely false, this is a deep misunderstanding of left and right brain. Unfortunately, it's so prevalent that we really have to spend a lot of time talking people out of this. For one thing, think about the fact that logical and creative are considered separate actions. They really aren't. Logical and creative go both into right and left brain thinking. So what is left and right brain thinking actually? And in truth, like, because the brain has the capacity to grow new neural pathways if there's been damage done to it. So if you have a stroke, you can learn to do things again by growing a new. So it's true that, like, technically any side of the brain could do any job, but for our understanding, a healthy brain that has not been damaged, the left side is involved with what we call verbal, conceptual, and the right is involved with visual, spatial, much less loaded terms, right? Actually, each of these thinking systems has a creative, logical component, but they're different. What is verbal conceptual? Verbal conceptual, we are in all the time. And as somebody like you, Judy, who knows more than one language, you're really in it all the time because you're associating a word, right, with a concept that's in your head. So you know the word, in Chinese, English, whatever other languages you can speak, right? And you associate the word hand, you don't have to see a picture of a hand to know what a hand is, right? In your head, you have an idea of what a hand is. That's how you can talk, you communicate. And that is where most of us are for the first 7-8 years of our life. We're learning language from the time we're a little baby, right? Up to 7-8 years old, we're learning how to talk in whatever language, or maybe several languages that we're learning. So we're assigning a word to a concept in our head. Very important for communicating. A question here. Let's see. Can I get in here? Let's see if I can do this. Nope. Here, I'm going to turn this so you can see me. All right. Here we are. Okay. So, is my hand bigger or smaller than my head?
Smaller.
Right? Whoops. Try to get this in the right place. What about now?
Bigger.
Yeah. Did you find yourself hesitating to answer that question correctly? Did you find yourself going, wait a minute? There are two different logic systems at play that are getting in the way of your understanding the answer to that question. So the first is that this is how fast the brain is. Once you learn a word, you absorb concepts about it very quickly. So when I held my hand up, here, hold on, let me do it like this. There we go. When I held my hand up like this and went like this, immediately your left brain, your verbal conceptual side said, oh yeah, the hand is smaller than the head, right? Which should not change from a verbal perspective. The hand is always smaller than the head. But when you're drawing, there's a different logical system in place. And that is the logic of where things are in space in relation to each other. That's visual spatial thinking. So visual spatial doesn't care, doesn't care what this is. All it cares about is that when things come closer to you, sorry, I'm totally trying to figure this out, they get bigger. And when they move away from you, they get smaller. So it doesn't really matter what a thing is and your idea about what a thing is. What really matters is where it is in space in relationship to you. Does that make sense? So can you see why we struggle to draw? It's a different way of thinking about things, right? It's not thinking about the actual idea, the concept of the thing. It's literally just looking at the shapes of the thing. And it's not only looking at the shapes of the thing, it's looking at the shapes of the thing in relationship to whatever else is happening. So the size of a hand in right brain logic really can change depending on where it is. But your concept of the hand does not change. So that is where you start to have trouble. It's not so much that's why it's harder for me to say to you, draw a bird, than it is for me to tell you to draw a bunch of shapes that eventually become a bird. So let's put this into practice. Hold on, guys, get out a sheet of paper and a pencil. And if Mo wants to join or anybody wants to join, we're gonna do this really quick, hold on. All right, I'm gonna give you some birds to draw. And I'd like you to try and draw them using the shapes. And, wow, wait. That's full screen, there we go. Hang on, I've got to call this up so I can share it with you. Here. So here are a group of birds. Try drawing one. Try drawing two. When I get them up here we go. Can you see them now? So all of these birds are created using the same shapes that I just reviewed for you. There are 5. There are the circles family, the dot family, the straight line family, and the curved line family. So see if you can draw a couple of these. Spend a couple minutes. And then we're going to move on to something more complicated, but I want you to get accustomed to working through the shapes to build something. I'm going to leave the meeting for just a second so I can get Judy in here. Come back in later. But just spend a few minutes drawing birds. It's kind of fun, isn't it? It's sort of relaxing.
I've actually never done this one, so this I joined because this is fun.
It is fun. Yes, that's why I'm trying to make this different. And we're going to go to a gridded drawing for those of you who know, but I want us to build up this concept so that we're working. So right now you're just playing with this idea of shapes. And we're going to draw a real bird, but I wanted you to get some practice. These are really cute birds. And this is from a book called Drawing with Children, which is one of my absolute favorite books on drawing. I would highly recommend it. I will actually post, I have a list of books if you want to learn how to draw. So as an adult, if you want to learn how to draw, Drawing with Children is great because it shows you how to teach your child how to draw, and basically at the same time you're teaching yourself. Yesterday's exercise, Drawing the Lily, also came from this book, Drawing with Children. But yeah, I know, it's really fun. She really breaks down the concepts in ways that I think are manageable. The goal here is to stop thinking about what you're drawing and just pay attention to shapes. Dot, line, straight line, straight line, straight line, curve line, curve line, curve line, curve line, curve line, dot, 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 dot. You know, like this is the idea. Not really to think about the fact that I'm drawing a bird, because then all of a sudden it becomes harder. But if you're just thinking about shape, should I turn this one upside down, you guys? All right, I'm totally gonna do that. Give me a second. I'm gonna download this thing so I can do that. I'm gonna stop the share for just a second. Okay, I'm gonna put it back up again. This time I'm gonna put it up upside down. And you're gonna be like, what? Why are you putting this upside down? It's gonna be harder, but it's actually going to be easier. Hold on. Try drawing. So you don't have to be upside down, but you're drawing, try drawing, you're making your drawing upside down and see if you notice a difference. Here we are. Yes. Whoops, sorry, my bad. You're gonna have to live with me and my old self, my middle-aged self. I find there's some point where it becomes hard to draw and do technology at the same time. So. Not good. Is anybody finding this easier? No, all right, keep going, Judy, keep going. What this does do is force you to look at shape more than at the subject, right? It forces you, so really pay attention to the shapes. It's very often easier to see the proper shapes of things when you're looking at it upside down, but intellectually it can be a struggle. I'll take a few minutes. I'll be right back, you guys. My kitten jumped into the bath this morning. I'm taking a bath for the first time. And it's hilarious to have a kitten, you know, because they're always doing stuff for the first time that seems, we forget, it seems really obvious, but it's there. Anyway, he got soaking wet, was completely shocked when it happened. And now he's sleeping it off. Now he's finally dried off, he's sleeping it off. All right, and Judy, while you're there, hold on. I'm gonna call up WhatsApp and I'm gonna add you as a contact. So Judy Wang, London. And what's your phone number, Judy? Oh, can you turn your mute off so I can hear it?
Okay, my phone number is 07. I will put in that chat.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
I think I can still grab it. And while you're doing that, wait. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going. Carry on. So if it's 07, isn't there a 44 or something like that in front of it? What's the country code?
Yeah, 44.
44. And then I just go to 75. So 44, 75, 6, 2, 1, 0, 0, 6, 9, 4. Save. 4475621000694. Got it. Okay, and now I'm going to create a group with all of you in it on WhatsApp. So I have Natalia here. And Natalia and Olga and Needy, I'm glad you guys are here. Because although you've been taking lessons for a long time, this is kind of the backbone of everything I've been talking to you about. So I think it's a really helpful lesson to kind of, when I'm saying something about shapes, you're like, oh, this is why. This is what she's talking about. Here is what she's talking about. So, and I think I got Judy.
And with me, the problem is that I joined a little late, so I
Right.
missed all the beginning classes.
Right, but what's interesting, Needy, is that you're quite into the intellectual process of this. So you've been picking up quickly because you're paying attention to everything I tell you about it. You've noticed that, right? Like everything I say, you're like, okay, this is how you do it. Go upside down. Do we know why? No, but I'm doing it.
Yes, true.
And so this is the intellectual. So I'm reviewing these principles every single class, but this is a helpful class in terms of defining terms, right? That's what I like about it. So why don't I have, why is Judy not here? Oh, dang. I'm going to create the group and then I'm going to get Judy in here. All right, so this is beginning art. Well, let's see. Today is October 8th. Yes, 8th. Beginning art. We're going to do another version of this tomorrow, not at your guys' time zone, but if you want to grab it off the YouTube link, it'll be there to try. We're going to work on a.
Yeah, there was supposed to be one beginner's class for the ink as well.
No, that was a confusion. That was called Block 1 Art. That is actually at, and I noticed that was, I'll have to talk to Anuja about that. It's supposed to be, the Block 1 Art classes are at 6 in the morning on Thursday for India. So not really at your time zone, but all she did was put Block 1 Art and not put the time zone. So that is the issue. That's the problem there.
Because I'm still not familiar with colors. I just can't make friends with them.
Of course you aren't. You don't know anything yet. That's like coming to a French class and saying, I just don't know how to do conjugations. Of course, because you don't know anything yet, but you will. I promise you. We will talk about all this stuff. So I guess what I would say is don't expect it to be intuitive. It very often is not. The intuitive, let's see, here we go. I don't know, here. This is not intuitive. None of this is intuitive. We all have to be, just like reading is not intuitive. That doesn't mean you can't learn it. In fact, everybody should learn to read. Judy, there's something wrong with this number because it's not really registering as a number. Let's see. It should be, your number should be, here, hold on. Find it again.
Think +44 should be like that.
Hold on. I'm gonna do it again. Hold on. This is why I should put up a little note telling people to find me beforehand and how to do it, so we don't have to do this now. Let's see. Because your contact is showing up, but I can't seem to add you to the group, which is frustrating.
Maybe there's something to do with the setting, because nowadays some people do a setting like before entering into any group, they need some kind of permission.
Permission?
Actually, you know. Yeah. So maybe if she
Maybe.
has activated that facility in her WhatsApp chat, then she might be
true.
getting some message that XYZ, like you want to add her to this.
That's
particular group.
possible. That's possible.
Yeah. You can send me a message first.
I can't seem to send you anything, so I'm going to try this again. So, so the number should be +44. Wait, maybe I need to add the plus. Maybe that's the problem. Oh, hell, go here. This might be it. I might just have to add it. Here's Emma. Okay. Gotcha. Emma, welcome. There's always a lot of stuff going on at Emma's place in Berlin. She has 2 boys. 2 talented boys. Emma, we are basically drawing these birds using the 5 shapes, families of shape, and we're working upside down. So go ahead and pop on in. The 5 families of shape are dots, which are anything roundish with filled in. They are circles, which is anything roundish with that is not filled in. There are straight lines, there are curved lines, and there are angle lines. So all these birds are built from those 5 shapes. So spend a little bit of time just trying to jump in. And I have this recorded. So, all right, I think I got it. Let's try this again. I'm going to add, Judy is coming into this group, darn it. Make sure it happens. Okay. I got you, babe. I got you. All right, and then I'm going to add it. Yes, so you're added, and Emma, I will add you to the thread as well. We gotcha. Got it. It was my bad. It was a problem on my end.
Are we drawing birds upside down?
Yep. And we've just spent a little bit of time talking about the left and the right brain and shapes versus understanding what the concept of the thing is. So go ahead and jump in. Anybody ready to jump on to the main part of the lesson? Does anybody want to take a picture of what you've done and send it across the thread? Why don't you do that first? Yeah, take a picture of what you did. Send it across so that we can all see it. So you'll see there's a thread in WhatsApp called October 8th Beginning Drawing. Hi, Judy. Awesome. Oh, well done. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. How hard, Sherry, why don't you send something over? Natalia and Olga, why don't you send something? And Needy, why don't you send over your drawing? And tell me how hard or easy this was for you. Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it in between? What was easy? What was hard? Nice, Needy. Great.
It was easy. Yeah, it was actually easy for me because I don't look at them like a bird. I just look at them like a shape.
Yeah, it gets much easier when you look at them as a shape,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? What was hard about this assignment? Anything?
Hard was to look at it as a bird and then start imagining that everything needs to be perfect. No.
How about, did anybody, oh, Olga's working in ink. Olga, you should post this on the ink thing today.
Yeah, definitely we'll do this.
Very nice. So how easy was this for you, Olga? Or difficult for you, was this?
You know, I was very surprised that it was easy for me, but I remember that, for example, half a year ago when I just started the classes, for me, like to draw something like this, it was just like impossible.
Impossible, right.
Like totally impossible. And now I'm just like, I don't pay attention on the, like what it is, I'm just drawing the lines and it's like
And the
so
shapes. Yeah. What about you? What about you, Sherry? What about you, Judy? Was this like, I mean, you're Judy, you did great. So was that hard? Or what was the hard part about it?
So I have a question. So when you put the picture upside down, I should draw the picture upside down, or I should.
Yes. No, you don't have to draw it right side up. That would be impossible. You did really well if you did that. Yes, yeah. The idea is that you draw the picture exactly as you see it.
Okay. I think
next time that'll get easier. But in general, how was this assignment for you? Okay, manageable?
Yeah, it's manageable, but maybe the result is not too good, but I think it's not too hard so far.
Yeah, it's not too hard. Maybe, Sherry, nice work. I like this. How about you, Sherry? What was hard? Was this easy, hard?
No, I think this is so much fun. I can't believe I drew this.
See, that's what I want. That's the reaction I'm looking for.
No, I think this is the first time I'm drawing since junior school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there is a bit of a
yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm speechless.
Awesome. All right.
I'm actually having so much fun. That's the reason I joined the class. So I'm glad I joined the class.
Awesome. All right. So now we're going to go on to doing something a little bit more complicated. We're going to draw this guy. And I'm going to put him up and show you how to draw him. We're going to do a little bit of, let's see, preparation. So for those of you who have rulers, I would say get a ruler. If you do not have a ruler, a straight edge, a ruler, hang on here. If you don't have a ruler, just get a piece of plain paper, and I'm going to have you do some things to it. So the first thing I'm going to do, and hold on, I'm getting this ready so that we can do this. Yep, hold on. Throwing things everywhere in here. I'll get the phone back up so you guys can see it, what we're going to be doing. But those of you, just get a piece of paper. We're going to do, one of the things that's hardest to do in drawing is to get things in the right places. It's really easy to draw things too big or too small. I don't know if you noticed that when you were starting to work, but it's tricky to get things in space in the right location. So hold on, I'm going to join the call again via Zoom. So one of the ways we teach ourselves to train ourselves out of that instinct, which is to make things too big, is to draw using a grid. Give me 1 second here. And we can also draw upside down if we want to, but we're going to start by drawing with a grid. So I'm going to show you how to make a grid. So I'm going back to Leah Demo. You want to go back to Leah Demo. And where is Leah Demo? Come on, Leah Demo is connected. Oh, I see, here we are. There we are. Here, I'm gonna get this going so you guys can see. Maybe I wanna do that. No, I wanna do this. There we go. Come on, are you guys gonna reorient yourself? No. I might have just made my phone pass out. Hold on. My phone is like, nope, I can't do that many things at the same time. I can't record. Here we are. Let's try that. Okay, so go ahead and click on Leah Demo. Click on Speaker View, and then pin my video, Leah Demo, so that you can see it big. Speaker View. And then pinning it means you click on it twice, or it might mean that so all you need to see right now is this. Just watch me while I do this. And then you are going to do the same thing with your blank piece of paper. So I'm going to start by drawing a grid on this drawing. It's going to start like this. I'm going to find the halfway point of each side. This is 8.5 inches. So the halfway point of 8.5 is 4.25. And then I'm also going to find the halfway point between each halfway. So this is halfway from one edge to the other. And the halfway point of each way is about 2.2. So I'm marking each of these down. And I'm going to do this at the top. Oh, let me make sure if I did that right. I did not do that right. Ha. Hold on. Oh yeah, I went too far. Here we go. There we go. 1, 2, yep. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. You can use inches or kilometers. I'm having a hard time seeing it actually. Let me put this down. This is another great thing that happens to you in middle age. It becomes very hard to read numbers. You have to get too close to them. This is 4.25. This is 2.2. And this is 2.2. So that these are divided. It's really hard to see. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was 1.2. So that these are divided into 4 equal sections. So I'm using my ruler to do that. And then when I finish, I'm going to connect the lines like this. That means my drawing is divided into 4 equal sections vertically. We're going to do the same thing. Dang it, I did it again. Here, hold on. I totally did it again. Sorry, having a trouble seeing today. Let me do this. Ignore that guy. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sections going vertically down the paper. We're going to do the same thing with the horizontal, with the long side. This is centimeters, so it's easier to measure. It's 28 centimeters, so I'm marking 14 for the halfway point. I'm marking 7 for the halfway point here, and then I'm marking 21 here. That should be better. Inches, for those of you who use them, anybody in London or the US uses inches, and inches are just dumb, but we're stuck with them. 7 inches are hard, way harder than 21. So these are all, I'm finding the halfway point of each edge and then finding the halfway point of each halfway point. So if you have a ruler, you're going to do this with your blank sheet of paper. Exactly what I just did here with your pencil. If you do not have a ruler, you're going to take your paper, you're going to simply take your paper like this, and you're going to fold it 4 times. So you're going to start with 1 fold here, equal fold, right? Exactly in half. And then 1 fold here. And half again. And then you're going to fold it 2 more times. Exactly in half. So that creates, when you open it, the same grid. Creates the same shapes. So if you don't have a ruler, you'll want to get one. By the next lesson, you'll want one. But if you do have a ruler, and if you don't have a ruler, you then may want to, no, I'll just use this actually. That's a good idea. It's the same size. I'm going to redraw these lines so I can see them. You may want to do the same thing. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a book or really any straight edge. I'm following my folded lines so I can get them. There we go. Notice that these two are the same size. This and this. I could do this up on this piece of paper too, which is twice the size of this, but in general, you want the proportions to remain the same. So when you get started drawing, once you have created your gridded paper, you're going to start by drawing the outer shape of everything. What do I mean by that? I mean just these red lines. So you're going to start by drawing. It's going to feel instinctively wrong. But if you want to start getting your drawings correct in the right places, you're going to want to do this. So you'll notice that the red line falls on a certain place on the on your grid. So you're going to go to the grid. You can even do this if you want to. Add little dots. And start drawing this outer shape. I like to do that. I like to find out this goes like this, and then it kind of comes down, and then it goes like this, and then it comes here, and then it comes down here. This is how it, so it goes like, you can see, here, wait, let me get it to a position where I'm not blocking, whoops, I'm not blocking the view. Can you guys see me? Yes. So I can see so I'm not so worried about, am I drawing the beak? See how I'm almost always drawing my end dot? Notice I'm using my grid always to help me. I'm going square by square. I'm not necessarily trying to do one whole side of the bird. I'm using my dots always to kind of help guide me. Notice I haven't drawn the feet or any inside lines. That's pretty key. This comes down and out. Down. So this is what I'm starting with. Would you guys like to see this? I'm going to take a picture of this and put it up on the share screen so it's easier to see. So let me do that really quickly. I have to take a picture with my cell phone. Actually, I'll take a picture of both so you can see them. Give me 1 second. I'll get this up on the share screen. All right, here it is, much easier to see. There you go. So this is your first step. You're going to resist any inside lines. And it's going to look weird and feel a little weird. Oh, but that's so dang cute. Really cute. So go ahead and take a minute or two. And you can send those to me when you're done. And in fact, I'm going to draw your next set of lines. Let me start talking. Here. Here. The Inktober thread is going kind of crazy, isn't it, ladies? In a good way. I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really neat. I just love it that this is the melding of all my different student groups. That's what I really love about it. These are my private students. My students that aren't involved with Reuters. These are students that I've had before, who I've stopped working with. Those of you who feel bold can do this upside down. Well, we'll get there. I'm going to do that later when we've got the basic shapes in. Is anybody finding this kind of fun? Or easier than you thought it would be?
Well, I've done this before, obviously, but
Right.
I thought I would do the grid again. Why not? Going
Right.
back to the basics.
Right.
It's fun.
It
Yeah.
is. It's the idea is, yeah, you could, Natalia, if you wanted to, try this without the grid, but it's kind of fun to do it with the grid.
Yeah, figure
Kind of
it out.
fun.
Why not?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. And it's like, it's going back to, I've noticed as people have started to jump ahead and leave the grid behind, that have you noticed that we've had some struggles with
Yeah.
the getting things in the right places. So it's always good to return to it. I don't want you to stay here. Ultimately, you all are going to get better at anticipating what is the translation of the shape that's going to happen on this, from this 3D form to this two-dimensional surface. So you get better at doing that after a while. But until you know it, it's hard to not let the left brain jump in and try to tell you what's going on. The left brain really, until the right brain becomes more exercised, like a muscle, the left brain really wants to take control. The left brain wants to tell you what's going on. The left brain wants to like dominate the discussion. The left brain wants to always be right. And that's annoying. That's annoying, darn left brain. Let's see. Nice, Needy. Great. Excellent. Did you miss this guy on the only thing I see missing, oh, maybe I just can't see it. There's this line here on the right, bottom right square, rectangle.
Yes, I've not made it, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know you're there. What I'm going to do is pull this down and show you the next step. Let me pull that up. Can you guys see? Wait, I'm going to stop the share and then I'm going to start it again. Sometimes it doesn't translate. So you can see that the next lines you're going to draw are the lines between the dark and the light shapes, the big ones. Notice I have not drawn any of the inner beak stuff. I have not drawn the eyes. We're holding off on those. We're starting with the bigger shapes. So the blue lines, which are basically delineating the difference between the light, the medium, and the dark areas, those are the shapes we're doing next. So those of you who are still on the red, that's fine, but those of you who want to go on to the blue. So why am I not doing the eyes? Why not start with the eyes? That's what everybody wants to do. We all want to start with the eyes. Why are we starting with these bigger shapes? Because the basic rule of drawing is, if you're wanting to draw in, understand the logic of drawing, the logic of the right brain, is to get the biggest shapes first. So that's what we're doing. We're getting the biggest shapes so that we have less of a tendency to make things too small or too big. So then these are the next biggest shapes, these shapes between the light and the dark areas. If you start with the eyes and then you work out, you are guaranteed to make things too big. I'll tell you what you're going to make too big. You're going to make this beak too big. You're going to make the eyes too big. You're going to make this shape rounded instead of flat, right? Like is what's really happening. There's all kinds of things that you're going to do if you're not really paying attention to shape. So we start with the outer shapes, then we go to the bigger shapes. And then on the third point, we will get to these details, the eyes, the beak details. And then of course you'll start coloring in the darkest areas. You'll start shading them. This would be a fun one to do, Olga, in ink. I hope you're going to try it. Be fun colors. If you're going to play with the colors in ink, Olga, I would just say match your values to your colors. So make sure that whatever color you pick, this is the darkest, this is the lightest. And then down here, can you see that there's a shift from like light to kind of medium light?
Yeah.
Yep. So you can do that. There's a shift. This isn't all white. It's funny. We think it's all white, but it actually isn't. You can see the plane change happening here.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sherry and Mo, Sherry and Judy, how's it going? Are you enjoying it?
Yes, I'm enjoying it. I just finished the red line and working on
the blue now. Excellent. Excellent. And I will draw in the third lines. There's that lines for you to do. Once you all get finished with the blue, tell me who the first person is who gets finished with the blue. And then we will start talking about value and shading. Once that happens. Oh, okay. This is a logical process, isn't it? There's nothing. So the first person to get finished with the blue lines, tell me. I'm going to stop and do a little tiny lecture, not a big one. So when we start drawing, when we start painting in January, we're going to start with a gridded drawing that looks a lot like this. We might do a couple of gridded drawings in December as well, just to get us ready.
Oh, can I ask you a question, Leah?
Sure.
Yeah, what do you do when you feel like, you have writer's block, but we also have an artist's block?
Right. What do you do?
I've been feeling very blocked lately. I'm trying, but
yeah. I have some suggestions for you. The first suggestion is do things that you think, do art that is of quote unquote no consequence, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so do things like this, where you're not so vested in creating a final drawing that looks good. Do drawing exercises. So draw your hand every day. Draw your hand while not looking at it. Draw a bird from the exercise as I just gave you, right? Do things that are, make yourself do something that you don't really care if anybody sees it or not. I think that's a big part. Do something simple that feels pleasurable. It's been a long time since I've had like painter's block. I can't really, truthfully, I can't really afford not to. I mean, if I think about why I don't get painter's block, it's because every week I am teaching a different, while I'm painting, I am also teaching a different medium. I'm switching off all the time, right? So on Monday, this week, I taught a pastel landscapes class. And on Tuesday, I taught a beginning drawing class. And on Wednesday, I taught an ink class. And today, I'm back to beginning drawing with pencil and charcoal. So because and this afternoon, I'm doing a watercolor class. So because I'm always doing something different, that jars my mind from getting stuck. You know what I mean? So I would say, try shifting around, do little projects, but also do things that are pleasurable to you. Redraw a cartoon that you used to watch as a kid. Try not to like take the final product so seriously, and try to do it every day so that it gets built in your mind that this is something you do regardless of whether you're working on something quote unquote big and important or not, right? Like your big important magnum opus pieces. I have been staring at a commission, I'm looking at it right now, that I cannot seem to finish. I have not been able to finish it. I'm not quite sure exactly. I mean, I have ideas, but I'm not quite clear on exactly how I want to finish it. So I'm spending a lot of time looking at it and working on other things until I can figure out how to finish it. So I don't let myself get stuck on one project. I'm just constantly moving from thing to thing to thing. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, why do I do that? So give yourself. So I think it's two things, Natalia. It's demanding of yourself that you do a little bit of drawing or painting practice every day, and then releasing yourself from having to produce anything that you think is good.
Yeah, that's why actually I'm happy we are doing ink, because it really gives me this I can get a bit. I have a bit of a perfectionist in me sometimes,
Yes.
and this medium is just really, like you said, it's just. You have to adjust, and it's so fast, and it's actually
It's
I-
flowy,
yeah,
it's fun, the mark making is pretty. Anything that can distract you. Like if you switch a medium, pencil drawers are, which you came to me as, I would say, a pencil drawer. Pencil drawing can get very tight. It can get very tight. You can't get rid of the lines as easily. You can get obsessive with your erasing and going over. It's crazy, right? Pencil drawing can really be. So switching mediums helps, but really releasing yourself, committing to yourself that you're going to draw every day for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I advise that people who are working full time should draw 3 hours a week. So if you think about it, 2 hours are taken care of in one class. Right, of those weeks. The other 15 minutes can be done in 15-minute segments every day. It could be done in one session on a Saturday. So I recommend that if you're working full time and you're starting out drawing, you should start 3 hours a week. And then when you're ready, you should bump it up to 6. All right. So it's more like the amount of time you're spending and it can be time in a class, it can be time alone. But that your goal is to get 6 hours a week of work in, but not to think about what you're doing. So I think that's why I never have painter's block, because I have a list of commissions like out the yin yang. I have commissions going through until beyond the fact that I'm painting for shows and galleries, where I will sell online, when people see something they like. I have commission work. So I have a lot of commissions that are kind of always waiting. They stacked up and I book them out. I have them booked out through mid-December right now. So every 2 weeks I have to generate one. This one I should have had done at the beginning. No, that's not really true. I gave myself to the middle of October to finish this one. So I'm still right on time with this one, even though I can't seem to I haven't quite locked in what I need to do. So I can't really afford to have it. So I'm often being given subjects to work on. That helps. But it also helps that, I'm moving around a lot and I'm constantly working because of you students. I'm constantly working in different mediums because I'm always showing, depending on where my students are, I'm showing a different medium. So I think that keeps things from getting too stale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I may use the right description, because I am very creative. I have many ideas, but I've been losing concentration. My hand does something else, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe this is processing.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I think you're learning. Yes.
I have ideas, but I'm just not in control that much.
Yes. Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic, Natalia. That actually means, are you ready for this?
No.
That actually means you're starting to get flow. And what you have to do is get out of the way. So I actually have noticed in my 10 years of teaching that there is one student that stops doing art and they always do the same thing. Let me tell you what that is. They insist that there is something in their head that they want to get out, and then what comes out is never good enough, or never what's in their head. If you can let go, if you can start with the idea that's in your head and then let go of that and be surprised, delighted by what comes out, that is getting out of your own way.
Okay.
That is allowing the spirit of your work. That is allowing the muse to work through you. That is allowing spirit to come in and work through you. But I am really in a flow. I don't even think about what I'm doing. I don't even think about the marks I'm laying. I'm just doing it. I mean, I'm paying attention to shape and form and all of that because I've been doing this for 20 years. So it's kind of beat into me now. But I really never have a strong idea of what a painting should look like when it comes out. And in fact, I just finished a series of 18 new cityscapes, which I'm getting ready to launch, and none of them turned out the way I thought they would. And they're great. I'm always like surprised when it comes out. I'm always surprised. And what's happening for you, Natalia, is you're learning new techniques and you're working with new media. So that's affecting everything, all you're thinking about it. So it's a good thing, but you have to be comfortable letting go of control.
Yeah.
So you must be comfortable, just let go. That's why I said let go of the final product and just be. And honestly, 3/4 of the time when I'm working on something, at the end I'm like, well, would you look at that?
Surprise.
Look at that. I didn't know that was waiting to come out. All right, anybody ready to talk about, or has everybody just jumped ahead? Anybody ready to talk about the next steps here? I want to talk to you about value for just a second. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to label it. Give me 2 seconds. All right, I'm going to take a picture of something and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So once you get, yes, I got that. So once you get shape out of the way, once you get the kind of basic shapes of things, the next most important thing in drawing, or equally as important thing in drawing, is getting the contrast between your values right. So what does that mean? Hang on here. I'm going to send this. Sometimes it takes a little time. Come on, baby. Here we go. So what does that mean? I'm going to pull down the share for a second. The value is the lightness or darkness of any color. So in this case, we're working in black and white. That means that black is going to be, say, a 5 in value. Here, hold on. I'll show this to you. If 5 is your darkest value and 1 is your lightest value, all of the other shades in between kind of represent gradations of getting darker. So for example, this whole thing is not white. It's white to about here, and then it kind of shifts into a 1.5 or 2. It gets slightly darker down here. And these legs are not 5s, but they're 4s. They're pretty dark. This part of the beak is a 4. Where's a 3? This is like a 2 in value. So here's a 3. That's like a kind of medium value, a mid-tone. So 1 is light, 5 is dark, 2, 3, and 4 are what we call mid-tones. They're slightly darker graying values connected to their number. And your job is to start by shading the darkest areas. So obviously that's here, right? Maybe down here. And then you start dealing with the midtones. So your big thing is to pay attention to where dark areas meet light. I always like to start with the dark areas because I feel like what happens is once I get the dark areas in, the light areas automatically are highlighted. So it's like getting 2 shades in for the price of 1, for the work of 1. So think about, and the other thing is that in drawing, you should have pretty strong differentiation between your values. So the areas you work the most are areas where a 5 meets a 1 right here, this edge, kind of important. You might want to make it a little ragged. In a little bit, I will actually put the photo up so without all this stuff on it so you can see it better. But I want you to start shading in. Once you've got the shapes, then you're going to start with the biggest dark shapes. That's going to be your beginning point. Anybody have questions about that, or does that make sense? And this is what I love, the point in the class where it is silent because you're all just focusing on shape and value. Very nice, everybody. How's it going, everybody? Anybody want to send what they're working on? I'd love to see it. You don't have to. Or if you want help with something, I'm here. Or if you're just enjoying it, you just keep on enjoying it. I'm going to turn off the recording now. I don't think we need it anymore. I think we've got the main points covered.